Welcome to the movie that made me even more glad I never lived in colonial America. No thanks. The Witch, or the Vavitch, if I'm reading the poster correctly, because I think there's two V's there, is the story of a colonial American family who gets kicked out of their religious community and what happens when they take up residence across from some woods where there appears to be some supernatural witching phenomenon going on. The movie is getting a lot of buzz as a moody horror film. Can it live up to the hype? Here's 5 things you might want to know about the Vavitch. First off, that atmosphere and tone stuff you're hearing about this movie, it's dead on. This movie is creepy. The atmosphere is perfect. There is dread in every single frame of this film, and that's a gift. That takes a talent to really be able to do that. I think there are several reasons why. One to touch on is probably the characters. Great acting performances, and you really identify with them. You identify with this family. They feel real. You identify with each of the misunderstandings that happen within the family unit, who's doing what. All of that stuff comes together to pull you into this world in a very creepy and real way. I use the word real. Let's focus on that for a second, because I think that's to the strength of this movie too, is the authenticity of it. Colonial times are portrayed here in a very realistic way so that you feel like you're really there. The way they speak, the way they dress, the things they say, the way the farm life happens, all of that stuff just feels so genuine. You know what it does for me? It draws a line between kind of the modern scary movie and a true horror film. This is a true horror film. Like, there's real horror in it. A scary movie just tricks you with jump scares and plot twists and those kind of things, and we've kind of gotten used to that. This movie doesn't do that, and to its credit, it just feels very real, very intense, and draws you along to tell you a story instead of just trying to scare you every once in a while. Also, fair warning, because it feels so real and feels so authentic, the disturbing nature of some of these scenes is even more disturbing than usual. This is a very messed up film in some ways, and because of the way it's shot, the way it's done, that comes through in an even more real and genuine way. So something to be aware of, especially, I would say, involving the kids in this movie. So much of this movie centers around children in kind of that 8 to 12 range, and what they go through is so dramatic and so horrible that it makes it almost difficult to watch. So just fair warning on that. Since we're talking about the kids, they actually lend themselves to one of the parts of the movie I didn't like, which is it felt a little melodramatic at times because of the way they're speaking, and kind of, there's almost a Shakespearean aspect to it, right? Where it's not something you're used to, and so the dramatic acting can feel a little over the top and forced, as if they're quoting lines from something. I don't think it's awful in that way, but especially when you deal with the kids, it can feel at times like they're overperforming, and I sense that a little bit too much in this film. But really, the main issue I had with this film, I just don't feel like it goes anywhere. Maybe I'm just missing it, but I found myself asking at the end of this film, what was the point of that? What was it trying to say? Was there a message there? Was there a meaning? Why did we watch this? That's an important thing to me. And as I came through this very atmospheric, this very tonal, this very dark movie, I come to the end and go, yeah, but did I learn anything? Did I grow in any way? Is there anything that comes from this other than just kind of being creeped out a little bit? And I couldn't find the answer to that, and because of that, I think it draws the movie down quite a bit. Overall, The Witch, or The Vavitch, is a dark and creepy and well-produced movie that unfortunately doesn't go anywhere long enough for me to give it more than a B-. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. You can check out more by clicking the cards up here. Oh, I should say, stay tuned for the Best Ever Challenge, where we name the best ever movie in a category. That's coming up later. First, click the cards up here, the info button, I should say. You'll see links to other stuff, reviews that have happened, how to get to the website. I'm also going to put a poll up there about which movie you think I should review next week, which movies. I do 2 every weekend, so I'd love to have you vote on which ones you want to see. You can vote there. You can also follow me on Periscope. Any movies that I do miss in official YouTube reviews, I Periscope 5 o'clock Central on Mondays, and talk about those films there. So join us for the Movie Scope then. You can also subscribe to the podcast, SiftPop, SiftPop, and iTunes and Stitcher. We have a great time. Have a guest in every week for some fun with that. Okay, on to the best ever challenge, where you name the best movie ever in a particular category. Also try to identify my choice. This week we're going to go with the best colonial times movie. The best movie set in colonial times, like end of the 18th century, maybe beginning of the 19th century, kind of that era. And for mine, my clue is, it's a little bit of a cheat because I think mine's more beginning of the 19th century, but it's the one about the barber that you would never, ever, ever, ever want to visit. The singing version with Jack Sparrow. There you go. Take a guess at mine in the comments. Also, feel free to leave yours there as well. And as always, here's 5 extra seconds to hit subscribe. Just click the logo right down in this corner.